When rattlesnakes get removed from an ecosystem, it doesn't mean the system's going to collapse, but that is like a rivet. That's a piece of that system that's no longer there, and at some point it's going to have an effect. We might not know exactly when or what that'll be, but at some point losing that piece of the chain, the food chain, is going to have an effect.
Within the National Park Service, our mandate is to preserve and protect our natural resources, and rattlesnakes fall in that category. And so in order to keep a handle on kind of their condition and their population, it takes some survey and some effort.
So what I do, it's called a capture, mark, recapture study. You capture an individual and you mark it. We use pit tags, which are these little glass computer chips, similar to what people put in their pets. And then when you capture it again, you can scan it and you can get that number. And then you build what's called a capture history.
That gives us some information on population, including survival and kind of male-female ratios, kind of the composition of the population.
By knowing that there's healthy populations of rattlesnakes, which we have here, we can be fairly confident that that ecosystem is working properly, unimpaired, if you will.
No, I think just the stigma in the past, especially of kind of them being the serpent and maybe have a negative connotation. They're really neat animals and they're not aggressive. They kind of have gotten a bad rap, but they do good things for the environment and for the ecosystem and for humans.
I kind of look at them as an underdog because a lot of people don't like them or appreciate them. They're creepy crawlies. You know, there's pretty good evidence that we evolved with snakes, we co-evolved with them, and that our fear of them may be somewhat innate. But mostly I think it's also learned that people get taught that snakes are dangerous, and then that process of socialization is why people really don't like them. Snakes don't want anything to do with humans. We're big animals, they can't prey on us, and they just want to get away from us. If you use your eyes and your ears, you can see them. Rattlesnakes, they warn you with the rattle, and so it's pretty easy to stay safe hiking around or even looking for them out in the field.
For me, and maybe the National Park Service, is kind of intrinsic that we should care for the land and care for the animals and the wildlife that are with us here. And I think rattlesnakes play an important role in the ecosystem.
You know, ultimately, my goal is to understand how these animal populations interact with humans, and how can humans and rattlesnakes, a dangerous animal like a rattlesnake, can we coexist?
If you'd like to find out more about the work wildlife biologists are doing to preserve the ecosystem of the Great Basin, be sure to visit the Great Basin Visitor Center.